What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Red Cloud Society. Today, we're bringing you the first video of a two-part series. It is about the Akatsuki. Today, we're going to be ranking our own top 11 Akatsuki members. We're just going to ignore all those fodder filler characters. Um, so I'm going to have a list of 11, and then you're going to have a list of 11, and we're just going to go through that and go from our least favorite to our most favorite, and give a brief explanation why we think they're so cool and why we like them.
Yeah, and just an extra heads up, the 11th member we will be including is Orochimaru, just because he's really strong, kind of fun to talk about, and did have a stint in the Akatsuki. And like I said, this is both of our personal preferences, and then next week we will get into the actual strength portion, where we have a joint list ranking them from weakest to strongest.
Yep. So without further ado, let's just hop into this. I'm going to let you go first, sir.
Okay, I have Zetsu at number 11 on my list. I'm not sure if you agree with me or not. Zetsu, I mean, he's not a horrible character. I mean, unless you're one of the people who hates Black Zetsu for quote-unquote ruining the series, which is a fair enough point, but the combination of White and Black Zetsu, who serves as the Akatsuki spy, I don't really have anything particularly against him, but just based on a lack of feats and, just overall showing in the show, he is a last on my list.
Yeah, so mine, maybe I'm sexist. I don't know. Mine's Conan. I just don't, I don't care for her character. I don't dislike her, but nothing resonated with me. And even though she had a really cool fight against Obito and was kind of a badass in that, it still just was like, okay, whatever. Like, Yahiko was cool, and we barely even saw him really. Nagato's cool, but then Conan's just kind of there. So that's why she's at the bottom for me.
Yep, I actually completely understand, because moving on to number 10 on my list, I have Conan there as well. Don't want to repeat everything you just said, but she just has a really weak follower type personality, where everybody else in the Akatsuki was specifically recruited for their strength. Meanwhile, she was just in it because she was kind of friends with Nagato and Yahiko. Um, Also, yeah, her personality just comes across really weak. Like, she's in it for the right reasons when Yahiko's running it, and then when all that crazy shit happens to her and Nagato, and he loses his mind and, changes the whole scheme of the Akatsuki, she's like, yeah, I'm good with this. I'll just murder everybody. And then Nagato gets talk no jutsu'd by Naruto, and then she's instantly like, yeah, I'm all about peace again, and tries to kill Obito. So she's a really wishy-washy character. Her jutsu is pretty cool, I'll give her that, but
Yeah.
she doesn't really serve that much of a purpose in the story, and has a really kind of follower type personality. So that's why she's 10 on my list.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. So number 10 for me, we just have it flipped. Zetsu, I don't have much to say. Him and Conan are close together. His transportation, jutsu, whatever the fuck it's called, is cool, I guess. Black Zetsu with the plot twist, even though it's fucking dumb at the end of the series, I think that's what kind of puts him at 10 for me. Um, but yeah, he's just also one of those characters where it's like, all right, whatever, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's hard to be for anybody to rank high as one of their favorite characters. I mean, he's not the worst thing in the world, but yeah, not very impressive. So anyway, moving to number 9 on my list, I have Kisame Hoshigaki.
Ooh,
Um, Not the biggest fan of Kisame, both, appearance and jutsu wise. It was really hard to kind of follow Zabuza with the whole legendary swordsman giant sword thing. Like, after you get that right off the bat in part one, and then you see Kisame later in part one, who has kind of a similar appearance, it just didn't do have the same kind of effect on me. Also, the fact that he's paired with Itachi really sucks for him, because Itachi is one of the coolest characters in the entire show. So being that he's his partner, he's kind of always second best. And yeah, just his overall appearance and everything. Kisame, while he is freakishly strong, I will give him that. He has never been one of my favorite Akatsuki members. So he's number 9 for me.
That's fair. I didn't see that one coming, but it's understandable. Not totally shocking. Number 9 for me is Hidan. He he's leaps and bounds ahead of Conan and Zetsu, but still a good bit back behind the rest. He's like in his own little league. I mean, his joshing thing is cool, I guess. I don't really fuck with it that much, but he is pretty fucking funny. I'll give him that. And he's immortal, so I guess that's sick. But past that, I mean, he doesn't have any jutsus. He has no changes in chakra nature. You can't really do anything else. More than anything, he's just fucking funny, which, I mean, maybe that can put him higher on some lists, but for me, he's going to stay at 9.
Yep. I mean, I actually have him moving into my 8th spot. I have Hidan there on my list, pretty much for the same reasons. I'm not a huge Hidan fanboy by any means, but he does have a really interesting and funny personality, which is why I have him above Zetsu, Conan, and Kisame. Granted, Hidan is one of the weaker Akatsuki members, but I just have him at this spot in the list just because his screaming and cussing and banter with Kakuzu is pretty fucking funny. So just purely on his crazy personality, that's what got him up this high for me.
Yeah, and moving into 8 for me, oh, hate to break it to you, Sasori.
I mean, we knew it was coming.
He's super strong, and I like his personality. Don't fuck with the Hiriko shell. And I don't really fuck with the Puppet Master stuff anyway, so that's kind of why he falls this low for me. And the series did him a disservice killing him off as early as they did. I feel like he'd be a lot higher if we got him past like 30 fucking episodes. But yeah. We didn't, so he just gets the number 8 spot for me.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people out there who don't fuck with the Puppet Master Jutsu at all, so understandable. Moving to number 7 on my list, I have Hidan's partner, Kakuzu. I'm sure this is a little low for some people, but, this is the point in the list now. I feel like Kakuzu is the cutoff now for... I really like all these characters from this point on, so... I would say at this point, I don't dislike Kakuzu by any means, or even not like him that much. I'm a big fan of his and his unique abilities, but I just like all the other guys on this list a little bit more. So he's sitting at 7 right now. He's got a little bit of a kind of boring, dry, no-nonsense personality, and for as strong as he is, he did get killed by, a pre-Sage Mode Naruto, which was kind of an moment for me, but he's definitely stronger than Hidan, he's cooler than Hidan, his abilities are really sick and really unique. He just doesn't have enough to jump any of the other characters on this list for me.
That's fair, that's understandable. He did get kind of fucked over where he was in the story. So number 7 for me, I'm coming in with Kisame, which if you asked me like a year ago, or even like when I first watched the series, he'd be last. I fucking hated him. I'm sure you remember.
Oh yeah.
But he moved up because, like, I don't know. We think about this stuff and talk about this stuff like almost every day, and he's got more of a personality than I thought. Like, his relationship with Itachi I like a lot. He's super fucking strong. I fuck with Kenjutsu, so I mean, I know he doesn't really use his sword in that fashion, but I mean, Samehada is cool, I guess. And then I think the icing on top, or the cherry on top, is his fights with Guy. I really fucking love those, especially the final one where he has to fucking kill himself to get the information out to the Akatsuki. But yeah, that's why he's coming in at 7 for me.
Yeah, he had a pretty cool death, and I definitely applaud your growth as a person by putting him this low on the list. But yeah, I mean, I feel like there's no real legit reasons to hate him. Like, he keeps to himself. He's not an asshole. He's strong as fuck. Like, he has good showing. So it's really just a personal choice on whether or not you can get behind his look and his jutsu, or if it's just not your thing.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to number 6 for me. This is where I have Lord Orochimaru sneaking in.
Ooh.
I know. I'm a big Orochimaru fan. Even for as creepy and weird and just much of a pedophile he is, I do really I really do like his jutsus, and I think he's a great villain. You know, the first like real horrifying villain we get in the series, and he's got a lot of good motivations as a character. He has some good fights on screen. Again, I don't dislike Orochimaru by any means by putting him at 6. It's just all the other characters are really, really cool, and I just like them a tiny bit more.
Yeah, okay, honestly, that is fucking shocking because I have him higher than you do. Number 6 for me, I have Kakuzu. He's just I don't know why I like him. I like his forbidden jutsu where he has all the elemental beasts, and he's pretty fucking strong. I love his, like you said, the banter between him and Hidan. He's one of those main villains, if you can even call him a main villain, where he didn't have like a philosophy that juxtaposed Naruto's or like the main characters. He was just like, yeah, whatever, I'm getting my fucking bread and turning people in from the bingo book. And it's like, okay, that's cool. But I mean, he was just a thug and I fucked with it. So he's getting number 6.
Yeah, can't fault you for that. Okay, so moving on to number 5, I have Pain. So I initially did have Orochimaru higher than Pain because, I mean, you know me, and you know I like the sketchy background, more obscure characters as opposed to the main guys. But I just went back and watched a lot of Pain's moments, but especially his fight with Naruto. And god damn it, Pain is just really cool, especially the Diva Path when he's just taunting the fuck out of the Nine Tails to come out. Like, that is such a great part in the fight, and just based on strength alone, I think he just deserves a spot ahead of Orochimaru.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. So my number 5 spot, I have Orochimaru. He just nothing. He didn't do anything in particular to get number 5 ahead of all those other characters, but he's just been around for so fucking long. You just kind of know him, and he is pretty cool. I mean, he fucking was a sus lord and had Sasuke come to him, had his fucking arms ripped off, and was still just feared by everyone. Even Sasori, like, Sasori was like, he's a fucking problem with no arms. He's got a fuck ton of jutsus. I mean, he's just a fucking basket full of shit that you could say, but that's why he's as high as he is for me.
Yeah, I love me some Orochimaru. He is ultimate sus lord, but he just rocks it. So, moving into number 4 on my list, I have Itachi Uchiha. Probably going to be a little lower than most people would think. I mean, everybody loves Itachi, myself included. It's just, I like the people in front of him abilities slightly more. I mean, I really don't have a negative thing to say about Itachi. I mean, he was cool when he was supposed to be a bad guy. He was even cooler when it came out that he was good. His jutsu is insane. His genjutsu is insane. He looks good. I really don't have a negative thing to say about him. It's just personal preference-wise, I like the other guys on this list a little more.
Fair enough. We are getting into the juicy parts with the top 4 here. So, wow, I am shocked at my number 4, actually, when I was throwing this together real quick. Daedra at number 4. I did not think he'd be this high, but he's fucking funny. He's got cool jutsus. He's tough as fuck. I mean, there's not much to dislike about him, and he's just running around not giving a shit. He's like, fuck the Akatsuki. Why am I even here? Whatever. Art is an explosion. Tried to kill Sasuke and should have. I mean, that was bullshit, but plot armor. Just I loved anytime he was on the screen, it was a plus. And then his interactions with Toby in the anime, oh my fucking god. Probably it was brief, but it was some of the funniest interactions in the entire series.
Oh yeah, I mean Daedra is the shit. Obviously, you know how I feel about him. But I think he's pretty well loved character throughout like all anime fan bases. I mean, I don't know if I've ever met a Naruto fan who was like, "Oh fuck Daedra, he's such a shitty character." And if I ever did, I would be like, "This person's a psychopath." But yeah, Daedra is cool as fuck for all the reasons you just said. So definitely don't fault you for that. Moving on to number three on my list, I have Obito Uchiha here. And he can be on here as both Toby and Madara, his entire stint in the Akatsuki. I have him above Itachi just because Kamui is fucking insane, and you know, I feel like that's a cooler ability than Itachi's Mangekyo Sharingan abilities. Also, I do like Obito's appearance slightly better with his mask and just the whole mystery behind him. And as Shippuden really progresses, you know, he goes from very mysterious to very scary and ominous, and I just think he carried a really, really good presence with him throughout the whole series. Obviously, like you just mentioned, him as Toby was funny as shit. I loved that. But then when he switched over to Madara, I remember watching and being like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this guy is sus in the best way possible. So I definitely love me some Obito in the orange mask in the Akatsuki, and he was super powerful, obviously, as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, he's in my top three because I haven't mentioned him yet. But at number three for me, I have Pain, and I want it to be separate from Nagato, obviously, because I think I like Pain more than I like Nagato, because Pain was just like, he seemed to have almost no emotion. He was super fucking strong. I love the introduction to the Rinnegan, the way they had it with the 6 paths of pain. It was super mysterious. I could not fucking figure it out. When even Jiraiya left the message, like, I was still like, what the fuck? But I had an idea, but wasn't, you know, I didn't know for sure. There's just a lot to like about him, and I don't think I agree with it, but I respect his philosophy. So that's why he's in the top three for me.
Yeah, he's a great character and one of the strongest villains in the entire series, and has a pretty damn good motivation to go behind it, along with an insane arsenal of weapons. So there's really no problem with Pain being that low on this list. So I have now a tie for first and second between Daedra and Sasori. They could flip on any given day. They're my favorite duo in the Akatsuki. They both have extremely unique abilities. Also, as a kid, I was super hyped when Shippuden came out after finishing Part 1. And I thought the Akatsuki was super badass and one of the best parts of the end of Part 1. So when they kicked off Shippuden with a new team of Akatsuki members who were equally, if not more badass than Itachi and Kisame, I ate that shit up when I was younger. And they pretty much stayed my favorite characters the entire time through. Their abilities are insane. The way they talk to each other is hilarious. And the fact that they think of ninjutsu as art is also just really fucking cool, and it sucks that both of them didn't survive longer.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, we didn't talk about this list beforehand, but I fucking knew they were going to be the top two. I would have been shocked.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, since your 1 and 2 are out of the way, I'll just go over my 1 and 2. Number 2 for me is Obito. Just like you, he could be Toby, Obito, whatever, Madara in the mask. I I don't really fuck with his philosophy, and I don't believe him when he says it wasn't about Reen. Like, yeah, you definitely started a war for some fucking coochie, but whatever. Um, but he's super cool. I love how he was revealed, and I know some people would disagree with that, but I liked it. I love the fucking story between him and Kakashi. I loved finding out how he survived. Well, we didn't really know. I mean, it makes no fucking sense, but he survived. Madara brought him in. He saw Rin die, and then at the end of the series when he turned a new leaf and fucking sacrificed himself, like I was like, okay, I think I can forgive you for everything, especially killing Neji, you little bitch, but I fuck with you hard. So he's number 2 for all that. And then Itachi's number 1.
Obviously.
But yeah, Itachi at number 1, just he's fucking Itachi. When I found out that he was a good guy, I was shocked. Obviously, like everybody else, I fucked with it so hard. And it's kind of like one of those stories where like you can envision some of these characters in real life. Like Naruto, he's a fucking idiot. He's a knucklehead. He matures, he grows, he perseveres, and he has a dream and he achieves it. And that's cool and it's relatable. And then Itachi's kind of like that golden standard where it's like he's so fucking good that like you aim for it, but you'll never get it. But it's like it's still better, if that makes any fucking sense. But he's just, I respect the fuck out of him. And he had sick jutsus, and his final scene with it, Sasuke, the I will love you always shit, man, that was like the close. I didn't cry in Naruto, but god damn it, I got fucking close in that scene.
Yeah, that was I was just gonna say after you finished when the Edo Tensei got released and he left Sasuke, that was one of the most moving moments in Naruto. Even though I'm not a fan of Sasuke, even then it still got me. Yeah, almost to the verge of tears. But so now that we're through the list, just to recap mine really quick, from 11 to 1, I have Zetsu, then Conan, then Kisame, then Hidan, Kakuzu, Orochimaru, Pain, Itachi, Obito, and then Daedra and Sasori in a tie for first.
Yep, and then my 11, starting from lowest to highest, is Conan, Zetsu, Hidan, Sasori, Kisame, Kakuzu, Orochimaru, Daedra, Pain, Obito, and Itachi, of course. But do you have anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Nope, I think that's pretty much it, other than just a reminder that this will be part 1 of a 2-part video. The one coming after this will be a combined list of these same 11 people, and we will just be ranking them based on strength.
Yeah, and it's going to take some time before we get that out, because we're going to have some disagreements that we're going to have to settle in order to get that out there, but I am looking forward to it. So, yep. Well, that's all we have for you today, guys. If you liked the video and liked our list, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. Let us know what your favorite characters are in the Akatsuki and how you feel about ours. And we will see you guys in the next video.